through the recap already,
No, I
or
was waiting on. Nope, I was waiting on you. I did little slips and dips, but I was waiting on you. I was waiting on you.
okay, okay, all right.
Yeah, I was waiting on you. We're just talking about
But
Peterson and how they
the
took away
bottom line
his
I just wanted to say was
license.
this isn't just happening in Canada. It's happening in all the English speaking places, and it appears to be a form of culture war, um, where you
Mm-hmm.
just have, and women feel like, especially out of Canada, felt like they were getting trenched on the most.
Right.
So, who comes to save them? The ultra right males, not the left male.
Okay.
So the ultra left women are being saved by because of a cultural cohab. Hey, we need to save our women. Hey, we need to be saved, or we need people to help voice. It was like a marriage in heaven,
Right.
um, and that's my point of view from my high level point of view. You can stab it, kick it to the curb. I don't care. That was what I
No,
observed.
I'm right there with
So yeah.
you. I
Mm-hmm.
was about to say that's kind of exactly what I've observed as well. And now that I know you're observing it, I want you to put a bookmark there because I actually do want to do a panel on that because it's something that I noticed isn't really being talked about. And there's a lot of other
Mm-hmm.
fucked up shit along that's going along with that. But now shifting gears, thank you for that lesson. Shifting gears, we got Bradley here. Y'all know I was trying to wait for Bradley to come back. So we're gonna just, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna take little parts and we're gonna talk about it. All right, we're gonna talk about it. So let's see what we're gonna get into. Oh wait, this one he was trying to find his manifesto. Take it back a little
Queen.
further.
Y'all see, y'all be letting Brad, brother.
Okay, yeah, right
I
here.
got serious questions. What organization are y'all with? Are y'all affiliated with AC or AB? Because I know a lot of these little homeland groups that y'all be starting. It's not actually
You in the panel,
y'all don't
Libra?
have no chapter. It's not establishing anything. So I'm
Is Libra
Yeah,
still in the
yeah,
panel,
he
y'all?
is.
Yeah, he's still on the panel.
Okay.
just saying
Oh,
the
So
okay.
little
with
race thing
the
affecting
AB,
black.
yeah, we don't support the AB because they sell drugs to their own people. They ruin their own community.
No,
So
I think
I'm not
Libra left.
AB. I'm
I
I'm
don't
just a
see him.
white supremacist.
Okay.
I'm a neo-Nazi, however you want to put it. I believe
Yo,
in the
Nazi.
betterment of
Oh,
my
so you
white
just
race. I believe in
self-proclaiming.
keeping my white race pure and my roots
You're
strong.
not with a established chapter. You're not with an established chapter. This is just some shit that you're just doing on your own.
By definition, I am not with any group as of the moment because I'm not old. I am not quite old enough. I'm only a year off from being old enough to join any group.
How old are you?
But yeah, it's we don't openly support AB or the Aryan Brotherhood because they sell drugs to the wrong people and they bunk with the Mexicans and they get tattoos from the Mexicans. We don't support that. We believe
Okay, what the fuck is the AV? Is that the Aryan niggas? Who is that?
Yeah,
Aryan Brotherhood.
Aryan
It's
Brotherhood.
Aryan Brotherhood. You got Aryan Brotherhood. You got
Yeah.
Aryan Circle. Depending on where they at, it depends on what like region. Most on region now, but the
Oh, okay, you
ABs and
was
the
right there.
ACs, yeah, they don't
So
fuck
let
with
me,
none
Skinhead
of that.
yeah.
started
So
Jamaica.
twin,
Yeah.
slow it down a little bit, twin. I want you to explain why you asked him that question because I just played that part where you asked him that question. What was the purpose of you asking him that question?
For the reason, because you have a lot of those people, like the ABs and the ACs, they talk about guys like this. They're the ones who really just sit on the internet, post a lot of propaganda. They're like internet bangers. Pretty much they're trolls. They're not really affiliated with anything. They once they get do some stupid shit, they go to prison or something, you know what I'm saying? They the ones that get fucked on, gotta suck dick and all that type of weird shit. You know what I'm saying? Because the
Mm.
motherfuckers actually do be fucking on each other. Even though they're against homosexuality, they be raping each other like a motherfucker.
Mm.
That's it. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Now the fact that he did say he had some native in his blood, they will fuck
Uh
with him
huh.
because of that. They will fuck him
Okay.
because he
Yeah.
has native in his blood. But a lot of ACs and the ABs, they fuck with Native Americans, and Native Americans fuck with them. And the whole tattoo shit and bullshit. Yeah,
Really?
they fuck with each other. They really do fuck with each other. You have certain natives that
Mm.
don't fuck with them, like the savages don't really fuck with them. But it's another group. The Indian Brotherhood, they fuck with a lot of ACs and ABs. Even though the Indian Brotherhood was disbanded, there's still a lot of members, the older ones. They still rep the IBH. They still got that tag on them. You know what I'm saying? They still fuck with the motherfuckers. But yeah, when they all locked up together, they all hang together. The Mexicans, the whites, and the natives. You know what I'm saying? And so pretty much the blacks by themselves. So it's always like that. It's not them that you got to worry about. It's the fact that all them groups really fuck with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
And
They're
the shit that
affiliated with
he's
each
on
other.
right now, yeah, he's
Mhm.
just on some shit. He's poor, he's dumb, and he's woke. He's not real. Like real shit.
So
You know
this
what I
is
mean?
the version of a woke white person?
Yeah, that's woke
Yes.
whiteness. Yeah, that's white woke shit. So everything y'all, everything
Hey,
black
deleted.
supremacists believe in, they believe
My
in the
heart
same
is
fucking
like,
thing. Yeah, they
but
share
y'all can feel
information.
what my heart feel right now with that.
Yeah, like when
I'm
dude come
sorry.
here talking about the CIA with the
But that's what's up though.
with the mind
What's up?
control bullshit, that's
You
they
don't agree,
bullshit.
Bradley? You don't
Yeah,
think
that's
that
the
would be
shit
like
they
a
on.
woke white person? Like, you don't think he would?
Well, what now? When you say the CIA and all the informant stuff, that is true. Like that is actually going on. They are being hunted down and tracked down by the FBI and CIA. That's why,
Is
for
that
the most
regardless
part,
if they're affiliated? Like you're saying, like it's just happening, period. Like regardless if they're affiliated
no,
or if they're not
it's
affiliated.
specifically dealing with the ideology of white supremacy. Like a black supremacist does not have to worry about the FBI, does not have to worry about the CIA because you're not a threat.
That's a lie.
Apparently,
That's a
that's
lie. Cause
that's
see
not
the
a lie.
thing, Bradley,
That's not a lie.
the thing about it, you probably do fuck with some
Sorry,
of them
this
motherfuckers.
cousin,
The
what is it? The
motherfuckers you fucking with,
SLCC disagrees.
yeah, the motherfuckers you fucking with probably cooking meth in their back kitchen. But see, here's the thing: the CIA is fucking with all the motherfuckers. They both share the same record. It's one common enemy, and the common enemy is separation and chaos. That's the only way any black supremacist or white supremacist group is
Stop typing so hard.
hate and chaos. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's what they fuck with.
I love the sound. What do you mean?
I do too.
So it's like both of them just like on some bullshit.
If I could get a 1980s keyboard,
I doubt that, but okay.
You be lit if you get that.
Thing about it, this the thing about it. The white ones
that's all
are
right.
not educated.
I'll do an
You have
ASMR
one
just
that's
for you.
educated, it'd be like the black people that's educated, they get a whole bunch of dumb white motherfuckers to say, guess what, you're superior. So they get a whole group. But with the black supremacists, everybody has to be educated. Everybody has to have a certain type of level of education. It has to be some type of financial bag. Them motherfuckers there, all they do is scam. And by the time he gets deep into it, he's not deep into it yet. But when he gets deep into it, he's gonna see the meth labs. He's gonna see fentanyl. He gonna see all that bullshit. He gonna be like, what the fuck I get into? Like, yeah, nigga.
So how come I'm not saying that yet then?
Cause you ain't in like you're a geek. You're really a nerd. Like you a square. Like motherfuckers you're not gonna know that shit. That's crazy. It's crazy that a
I'm a
street nigga
nerd and I'm a square.
shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's a whole nerd, my nigga. You're not even gonna be around that type of shit.
Just like with any organization.
Real shit. You're around the fake woke motherfucker who just spitting some bullshit. Yeah, they
Hey,
got
Jeff.
some guns and all that type of shit, but once they get deep in, guess what? Yeah, all the drugs and the sex trafficking and all that bullshit, the prostituting their own women, the bucking each other, goddamn me, fucking on each other wives and shit. Yeah, once you get deep in that shit, you see that type of shit. But that's the part of war. You have to fund war, and the way to fund war is through drugs. What the fuck? It's been going on for
Very
centuries.
true. Very fucking true.
Like shit, come on now. Like y'all really be on some fake woke shit. Like shut that shit up, nigga.
So can the same be said? Can the same be said for Black Lives Matter? The more
Hey,
you
Bradley.
go,
Black Lives Matter.
No, it can't be.
Black Lives
Good
Matter
try.
doesn't matter.
Why not?
Guess what? When it comes to the black supremacy groups, drugs and shit are not implicated in those environments. They stand strongly against that shit. You know why? They got other ways to revenue. They get a motherfucker like Lester to get on the computer and find loans.
So could it be possible that this young man is
I am trying to make an
formulating
ML for that.
or is a part of a new structure? Because he did make mention that he doesn't like the fact that they use drugs. He did make mention that he doesn't like the fact that they get tattoos from Mexicans, I think he said.
yeah, he
He
did
ain't
say
got
that.
deep in yet. Yeah, he ain't got deep in yet. Once he get deep in, he's gonna see a whole nother different he's gonna see some different shit. He's either gonna have to accept it, and goddamn it, they're gonna knock his ass off. Cause he already in too deep.
Hey,
So he's really
organic. Yeah, I
superficial.
know Ja's been trying to say something for a
I'm
while.
sorry, Ja. Go
Um,
ahead. I
not that I'm.
apologize.
It's okay. I talk too much anyway, but thank you. Yeah, this is my thing. Like this is crazy that there's an actual white supremacist. So basically, yeah, man, like you're in pretty much what the Charlie Kirk phase at this point, right? Like you found some really
Charlie Kirk is not a white
No, stop
supremacist. I
trying
am
to
a
interrupt
big
it,
supporter
Bradley.
of
Stop
Charlie Kirk.
interrupting him, man.
listen, regardless, you have to understand the reason that the FBI is now persecuting white supremacists more than what you would say black supremacist groups. Because if you look at the past 2 to 3 years, how many deaths, like as far as murders, were at the hands of black supremacist groups versus white supremacists? A lot were white supremacists, right? Actually, the largest domestic threat, as identified by the FBI, and the same organization that assassinated Dr. King. So the reason white supremacists are
Gotta eat it.
willing to do a lot more radical stuff, I think, the Great Replacement theory. They've done a lot in radicalizing.
That's not a theory.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not a theory, but I mean, if you're saying that demographic change happens in a society, absolutely. But to say that the Jews are doing it on purpose, I think that's
Yes, the globalists. Yes, it is. Yes, they're doing it on purpose. Yes,
Bradley, you sound crazy.
to
You just
to
said,
what?
listen,
to infiltrate a new world
the
order. This is
reasons
what
why
they're.
the
This is what they're trying to
FBI
do.
Okay, but do
investigated
you
white
understand,
supremacist
like
groups
the
and
Jewish
white
people
supremacist groups for
believe
terrorist
they
moves. Black
are
supremacist
like
groups
the
that
white
support
the white
terrorist moves.
One mic, please.
like heavy quote heavy unquote are like literally as Caucasian as you, buddy. Like the Jews that you're afraid of literally are super white. Like they're not like they're not.
Yes,
You
but
know what
they're
I'm
not
saying?
Aryan. They're not Aryan though.
But do you think that that would bother them though? Like I'm saying that like why are they so offended or afraid of your group when they already, according to you, already have all the money, they already have all the finance, they control the media. Why do they need to flood America with minorities and brown people?
To
Already,
to so the so they can infiltrate the satanic demonic agenda of the end of the world prophecy.
you said infiltrate the prophecy. Can you expand
Yeah,
on
the
that a
end of
little
the
bit?
world prophecy to bring on the authoritarian one world, one government, one leadership government. It's what they plan on doing. That's why they're spreading the message of interracial marriage and mixed breed children and all these things that are against the traditional order.
What do you think the largest threat of mixed race people or children are? Out of curiosity.
Excuse me.
What is the threat behind? I suppose. Like, what do you think is the worry or the inevitable danger that mixed race people kind of pose?
Well, not them particularly, but I mean, it's just the endangerment of the white race. I think that's the biggest threat.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Quick question. You obviously understand the history of the world, right? I think that at least in white supremacist spaces I've seen online, there is like this. I think there's like a really a big fondness when you look at the Europeans kind of leaving Europe prime, going to like Asia, basically, and then of course to the Americas and to Africa, and kind of this history of colonialism. My question to you is, if you can look on that history as a good thing or something that should have happened, right? Do you ever?
What do you,
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. Well, my question to you is like, if you understand that maybe empires can rise and fall, right? Like, I mean, you see that maybe the European
Hey,
project
lady.
spread our way, but maybe it could end. If you, I guess what I'm saying is like by the same token, if you accept that there was a group of hostile Europeans that colonized the world, stole resources, right? Like literally ravaged everything that they touched. If you, I guess if you understand that is
I don't
maybe
agree with that.
Well, then, yeah, correct me. Yeah, on this. I might have watched this. Yeah.
They don't
Because it seems like
now. When you say, what do you mean by they ravage everything they touch? Can you define that?
yeah,
Rape
sure.
women,
Yeah,
still
rape,
other
murder,
resources.
slavery. The idea of like, having absolutely no concept of like the shared humanity between themselves and another group, right? Because again, if you look at Europeans, what happened? It was thousands and thousands and thousands of years of like little interpersonal conflicts within Europe, right? So the strongest literally had to survive. Look at the 100 Years' War. That was the history of Europe, and so because of that, you had a very bloodthirsty,
Y'all let me
very,
know.
I would say, afraid.
Y'all let me know when y'all ready
You know,
for me to put the video back on. But go ahead, Joe.
yeah.
Oh,
But basically,
well,
yeah, it's like that.
I mean,
that was the
again, first of all, after this, I am ready for the video to be put back on. But to address the gentleman in number 7, I will just say that I don't think that the idea, if you're talking about my mic is loud or his mic is loud, my mic is loud. Is my mic
It's
loud?
okay. I don't know. Just keep going though. Hey, Funky.
Okay, so like I said, I don't think, because I think you're referring to colonization, and I think colonization is a good thing. Colonization is what brought the advanced modern societies that we have today. I mean, let's look at what would have happened if it wasn't for the colonization of the Americas. I mean, we wouldn't have the superpower social structure that we have now. We would have the Ottawa Nation and the Sioux Nation and the Croatoa Nation. We wouldn't have, these United States of America. A lot of the land would have remained untouched and undeveloped. A lot of the things we would have never known, and a lot of the archaeological discoveries that we've discovered in states like Arizona and Utah wouldn't have been discovered under Native American rule. So in a way, I do thank colonization. And when you call the white man a colonizer, I think he should take it as a compliment, not an insult.
Yeah, please put on the video. I'm sure we can.
Thank you. Your
Yeah, let's
ass
go ahead to
needs
the
to
video.
let me know when you go live. Cause I feel like I don't know. I feel like you're a thief in the night. Like you just come in here and give me and leave. Please let me know when you go live. But I appreciate you. All right, y'all ready for me to put a video back up?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hey, misperception.
Yeah, go ahead and put the video back up. Yeah.
Hey. I'm coming. You know I got my Boquisha nails on.
Hold on. Where the fuck is everybody?
There a lot of them are in the comments.
In
You know everybody washing their clothes.
working, we don't break bread, don't break sweat, don't do nothing with any other race except for your own. We believe in keeping the betterment of
So
our
do
race
you
and
deal
keeping
with
to our race.
the IBH,
The IDH
the Indian Brotherhood?
was
Yeah, the
well,
Indian
what do you
Brotherhood.
mean? No,
Native
I'm
American.
not aware of the Indian
You're not
Brotherhood
aware of the IBH.
because
Hey friend. If you got her headphones
me
in.
personally, I'm in a race, not wasting my life away in a prison cell.
Okay.
And
Right
you
here, what
keep
we have right
You
here.
probably
What we have right here
because
is
sooner
the
or later that's gonna
self-proclaimed.
be outlawed too.
He's a dirty. He's what
I
they
got a
call
question.
dirty.
I got a question.
He's
Tell
just
me, tell me,
dirty.
tell me
That's
your
it.
hobbies, man. What do y'all
This is
do?
just
What y'all food-wise and all
y'all
that shit?
entertain the
Sports?
dirty.
What do y'all do?
Like, what the fuck is this shit? Then look at the fake motherfucker beside him. He's another dirty.
MMA.
Oh wow.
They dirties. Like real shit.
Boxing,
They not
MMA.
real.
What y'all eat? What do y'all eat? Don't tell me you don't eat
The
tacos.
fuck?
They just learned this last night from Trolla. So
Yeah,
they
they're not
now
Oh
real,
my
understand
man.
god.
better.
These niggas not
You
real,
gotta be
man. Some
mindful of
fake
what you
ass
If
consume.
niggas, man.
if you're really about it, you should goddamn do everything that white people only made and eat and
That's
see
not
and play and
true.
all
He's
that
his
bullshit.
own person. He's his own person. There you go again. This is the same government that tells people
Yes,
what to think.
y'all.
You're just like
This is what was happening last night. Yes. We have the beautiful Bradley and five. He brought over some of his neo-Nazi friends, and this is what transpired.
I'm on a white
you're the
diet
same
though.
one.
Nah,
I have a
Go ahead.
y'all should
question.
support
Box
your
five.
own. Y'all should
We
support your
got
own.
Bradley here, and he's
I
looking
can
to
tell
link
you what a
up. Would
white
you guys
diet is to
accept
the
him?
guy.
I eat
Don't eat no
We're
bratwurst.
fucking
no
I
longer
tacos.
love
on that.
bratwurst. I
Don't eat no
love
fucking.
bratwurst. Who in here also eats bratwurst?
Napa, pull up.
Anybody else in here eats
Yeah,
bratwurst?
we don't eat that pork shit,
You said
white
Nope.
man.
All we eat is meats, fruits,
What's wrong?
drink raw milk, butter. Sometimes
Yep.
we'll have a
They live in
pasta
a
here and
country.
there.
They live in the countries of
And
free
Y'all
then
should
will.
only drink. Y'all should only
We
drink
don't live in
certain
no
the
goddamn
one
fucking
thing,
alcohol
country.
okay,
that's
We just
made.
don't eat
so
like
the one
fucking
thing I don't
barbaric fucks.
understand is why do you said that the way that their hobbies are absurd. Like you mentioned skydiving. What's wrong with skydiving?
Yeah,
Why are
yeah.
y'all always
What you talking about?
why
What? That's a
why are y'all
stupid.
so afraid of everything?
I'm talking
Talking
about
about
specifically like
animals.
Hey, can we
tacos.
ask another question? Can we go to another deeper question than that
What's wrong with
dumb shit?
skydiving?
And I'm so glad you here, Napa, because I was just saying, like, Napa was getting to the shit. Of course, Libra, he was getting to the shit. I appreciated y'all questions, especially the question he's about to get into now.
We're the
I want
best
to
What's
hear
at
wrong
about
with
philosophy.
sports.
Hello, don't
Oh,
don't
okay. Shit, I don't know. Can we talk
There you
about
go.
something else? A little bit more, like a little deeper? Because I want to know about this manifesto that Taquisha. Change your name, bro. That shit, I don't like that shit. What's the manifesto about? What are you talking about in your manifesto? What do you believe as a
So
Nazi or a white supremacist?
my manifesto is about my idea and what I believe in. It's about my ideals on the Negro, the Jews, on how you're violent and whatnot here. I don't have a
Hold on,
lot
wait.
written,
You
but
said
I will
how
pull it
like
up
black people are
if
violent?
I have it still.
Yeah, like you want better skip
Yes,
over that.
how the mass majority of Negroes are violent against their
Well, you
own
know that's
race
not true.
and
You
other
know that. You
races.
know in your heart of hearts that's not.
I'm gonna pause it right there on his flag. So he's about to get into how he feels. Let me switch my on y'all. Hold on. Okay, I'm back over here. So he is about to get into how dangerous and violent black people are. And he says that this is a part of his manifesto. But y'all just watched a lot, and I want to try to break it down in segments so we can speak about it. And we do have Bradley here who can also speak about anything that he said and why he said it, which I'm sure people probably are in this room thinking. So, who want to go first?
Comment section? Anybody?
I will go first literally every time unless somebody else does. So I'm gonna
I was
let
about to
somebody else
say,
go
is John gonna go first?
Yeah.
I want to hear what John has to say. Yeah, I want to hear somebody talk.
Me too. Go ahead,
Okay.
John.
Yeah. So I mean, it's unfortunate because you know, you see this kind of mentality on the right, particularly in white supremacist spaces, that black people are somehow inherently, violent or evil, right? But again, one needs only to crack open a history book and look at the history of the world, right? Again, most of the violence visited on one group of people by another or one group of people internally, it is unequivocally white people. Now, again, this has like a lot of factors. I'm not even saying this to say that white people are a violent people by their nature. I mean, you could make the case, right? But I just don't understand how, if you know history, you celebrate the accomplishments of the colonial era, right? I mean, you know that there was 100 million Native Americans when the Caucasians came here. So there's not now, right? And that's one example. Cecil John Rhodes killed about what 25 to maybe an estimated 50 to 75 million people in Munamatapa, what is now South Africa, right? Like again,
And
we could do this all day.
can I point out the
But
serial killers too? There's like hella serial killers.
don't even get me
The
started.
majority of
Or the mass
molesters
shootings.
are
It's funny
white.
because when you say manifesto, that usually is followed by somebody killing innocent people, like people in a church with their families. You know what I mean? Like real brave shit from
Okay,
the white
so
supremacists.
we're
That's
not
violent in
okay.
itself.
So
That's
are we
violent.
gonna address mental illness, or are we just gonna ignore that and side play it, right?
Mental illness is
Mental
100% a
illness.
factor, and I will grant you that. But that I will give you I'll give you that one mass shooting, but you have to explain the history. Like again, just the
That means the white
long and
people are
storied
mentally
history
ill.
of Caucasians murdering people.
That's a lie.
If you're
Okay,
gonna
but
put
like
that
how
point to
though?
value, then that means that if mental illness is a thing, then that means it's mental illness is a thing in the white community. Then, if we're gonna blame it on that, either way,
No,
it's not good.
mental illness is universal. The same way that a nigga will rather spend 15 years in a prison cell for his gang rather than 4 years in a college to better his life. That's mental illness
Again,
too.
But don't
Yeah,
you
that's
think
again,
true.
that that's
But
part of propaganda
white
and like
people
part of
have the
the
highest self-deletion
No,
rates. White people
yeah,
self-delete more than any other demographic on the earth. Maybe
yeah.
Asians are
yeah?
up there
And
too,
what
but they're
yeah,
the
this is
highest.
also important to mention that
self
there's more white
delete?
people on
What did you
welfare than
say?
any other group.
Well, that's because there's more white people in the country. We have to go by per capita, not
Okay,
overall
even if you
population.
adjust for
Per
per capita, there's
capita.
like an insane amount of white people that are getting assistance in one way or another. But I think that we did kind of gloss over the points where it's like, yeah, you can say that maybe an individual mass shooting, right, was somebody that was mentally unwell, right? But if you go into spaces like 4chan or the recently defunct 4chan, like I see culture
True.
celebrating them
That's
within the white community.
true. That's a good
But
point.
again,
Ooh.
but I want
Well,
to understand how you
well,
separate colonialism and the good things it brought. How are you
Well,
separating that from
this
all
was
of
the
the
thing, John. He did
human
say
cost?
that he felt
Yeah.
like they were the best race because they picked the best places to colonize.
Wait, so if the best race inevitably wins, right? Well, then if white people are now losing, wouldn't that follow your own logic?
Bradley, you
You know
better
what I mean?
fucking agree with that because he said that last night. I watched that on the recorder earlier. I said, did he just really say they're the best race because they picked the best places on earth to colonize?
Like that's
Yeah.
the only
End quote.
reason.
well,
That was
okay.
the
Like
first
I
reason he
said last
started with. He
night,
got a several, but
like
that's the first one he started with.
like I
Oh,
said
okay.
last night, I'm not as extreme as him. I don't agree with everything that he agrees on, but
You don't
so
agree on
yeah,
that, right? You don't agree on that,
not
right?
necessarily. No.
Why necessarily? Can you expound a little bit more on that?
Oh, organic.
You know,
Okay.
because you know I'm not gonna. I need to hear it. Go ahead.
Well,
Hey,
I don't
AG.
think
Hey,
that.
Natty.
I mean, well, it's kind of a hit or miss. On one
Okay.
side, when you talk about the colonization of Africa, I don't think really any good came out of it except the discovery of the Gold Coast and the diamonds and all the things that was mined out of Africa. But at the same time, if it wasn't for the colonization of Africa, none of us would be here in America speaking the King's English.
The King's English. Okay. So, like, I think, but you could make that case, and as a white supremacist, I'm sure you do. But, like, let's say if
Rightly
Adolf
supremacist.
Hitler
I brought that
wasn't
point up.
a monster with syphilis in a meth addiction, right? What if he had
Oh
won,
wow.
right? Yeah, I mean, he did have syphilis and a massive meth addiction. However, if he had won, I mean, you could maybe say the same thing about, the future where
And
everybody's
please
speaking
go back
German.
to that point he made about the best thing he thought was the mine and the gold of Africa.
Yeah, by the way, yeah, nobody
Please go
discovered
back to
anything in
that.
Africa. People lived there. That was their
Friend.
resources. Yeah.
Yeah, but they weren't
Your
doing
friend's
anything
outside.
with it. They were playing with large balls of diamonds. They were like large jewels. They were just playing with it. They didn't know the value of it. They didn't know the value of oil. They didn't know what to do with it.
What is the value of diamond exactly?
What do you mean the value? You mean the monetary value, or
No.
like
Well, the
the?
monetary value is dictated by
If I come
a
in
bunch
your
of people
house
that
and I
think that
steal
the
all your shit and I
pretty rough.
say you wasn't
Pull
using
up,
it good
OG.
enough, like what the fuck
Shut
is you
up!
on?
Shut up!
What kind of shit is you on right now? They wasn't using it
Uh,
properly. It was
no,
their
they were
shit. Who
not.
gives a fuck? Who gives
Hey,
a fuck? It was
love.
their shit.
I give a fuck. Are you dumb?
Are you
Dude, if I
fucking dumb? You're
walked
not
into
a
your house and
colonizer,
took your
Bradley.
hot
What the
sauce
fuck
or
is wrong with
seasoning,
you?
if there is any, and say that
Yes.
you're not using your seasoning
Look
right,
at my
because there's no way
son.
you are if you are.
Oh my
He's
god.
a
That doesn't give
Well,
me the
if
right to take your
well,
shit, right?
well, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting seasoning in cereal and I'm eating
Bro,
and I'm literally
it's your
eating Cheerios
property.
with
It's
Cajun
your
sauce,
property.
then
It's
yes,
Yeah.
your
you could take
property.
it
It's
because
your
you're not
property.
doing anything good
It's
with
your
it.
property. It's your
Okay, dude, so
property.
hang on. So do you like the concept of the Constitution or the Bill of Rights? I mean, the founding fathers, again, I'm sure you claim those guys, right? They owned human beings.
Oh,
Do you
well, I mean, it was a
you like those
business.
ideals,
It
huh?
was a business. It was a business. It was a business.
Oh, so do you believe in the concepts of life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness and property, ownership? Like, do you
I do.
believe in
I do.
the
Huh?
you do?
I'm good. How
Okay,
are
well
you?
then can you understand that like all of colonialism is completely antithetical to every concept in the Bill of Rights? Do you understand that?
Well,
Like,
we
so
have to get
I
to a
think that
point. When it comes to colonialism, I think that colonialism comes before the Bill of Rights. In America's case, not anywhere else, in America's case, because it's the American Bill of Rights, not the Bill of Rights of the world. It only applies to America. In those
so
Bill
you're
of Rights,
saying that yeah. So these inalienable rights endowed with to us by our creator is a subjective country specific thing. Because when I read it and it said the
yeah, because
inalienable
I don't
rights
see the Bill
endowed
of
to us by our
I don't
creator, that seems like a universal language, right? Like that
Yeah,
seems
but I don't
they were
see the Bill
hinting
of Rights being. I don't see the Bill of Rights being applied in Yemen. I don't see the Bill of Rights being applied in Afghanistan or Kazakhstan.
No. Hang on. We're not talking about how other people apply the Bill of Rights. We're saying that if we believe in that, they're not Americans, as you rightly pointed out. So if we're
Ooh, you're not
Americans,
letting
or
you
at least
run.
you are, right, because you're white, if you believe in those things as inalienable rights, as the in the way that the founding fathers laid it out, would that not be kind of antithetical to the whole enterprise of colonialism? You know what I mean? Like, do you see it's like, yeah, you see it's like kind of mutually exclusive there.
No, I don't really think so because I feel like we'd have to get to that point first before we start developing, civilization and society. So without the civilization, without civilization, you wouldn't have the Bill of Rights. Like a tribe has rules per se, but they don't have like structured rules like the Bill of Rights are. Well, not rules per se, but
trying to talk
Have you
about?
studied
He
any
sounds
indigenous people at
dumb.
all?
Are you still trying? Go ahead. I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
Yeah, you sound retarded.
It's okay. Have you studied indigenous culture? Because I think
No, I don't need
maybe a
to.
fallacy that you're running into here is you're making a lot of assumptions about the way that indigenous peoples all across the globe have structured their own societies.
Oh
But I
shit.
have
No,
two questions there. First, I think there's a disconnect. And secondly, by your own admission right now, you're saying that if I want my group of people, the biracials, I
Oh,
know
that's
it's
me.
scary, but like if I want my group of people to be dominant, I literally would have to go and rape and murder enough people to where nobody could challenge my authority, and then write a treatise on how we
Isn't that
should.
what Jim Jones did? Oh.
Jonestown? Organic. That's such a bad comparison. You're
It's a terrible.
comparing a
It
small.
was a joke.
That's not great.
It was a joke, but
Okay. Oh my god.
Oh, I'm about to
Uh,
say, but
it was a
anyway,
white people joke. I have to throw a white people joke in there, but that was the thought and
Yeah.
his processing of why he did originally do that. But go ahead.
but Jim Jones loved all races. Jim Jones wasn't a racist.
Wait a minute. Hold on. See, this is the shit.
He was a psychopath, essentially, though. Like it didn't matter about.
He may have been a psychopath, but he wasn't a
He
racist
targeted
psychopath.
black people specifically in the
He was
Baptist
taking
church.
advantage of black people. Yeah. He was not egalitarian. I mean,
Specifically
he killed
set his
all of them,
foundation
right?
in
Like,
black churches.
He
like,
killed
what are we
all of
talking
them.
about?
Yes.
But
Anyway, we're
you,
getting off
And
topic.
you
Can
do,
poor
you please
whites.
but they
respond
were,
to?
And poor
excuse
whites.
me,
Let's talk
but
about that.
they were Asians, there were Asians in the church, there were blacks in the church, whites in the church, there were all races in the church.
A lot of people that were being dealt a really shitty hand by the white supremacist government of the time. But let's not digress down that path yet. But can you kind of
Yeah,
address
we're
some of the
not
questions
talking.
that have?
Yeah, that's another panel
Yeah,
about
because we don't need to talk
Jim
about the
Jones in
missionaries in Africa.
Jonestown,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Guyana, in
we'll save
1978.
that for another time.
I'm very big on that. I know a lot about
You know I'm big
Jonestown.
on you missionaries.
We
I'm
know
big on you
everybody knows a lot
missionaries.
about it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
but
I
different.
actually got relatives that actually was there in Jonestown, so we definitely can have a talk about that.
Oh my
That part,
I
I
would
God!
know a
love
lady
that.
that died.
I
I
would
know a
love
lady
that.
that died there, drunk the juice, okay? Drunk the Kool-Aid. The fuck?
yeah.
Oh wow!
I
You
would
know
love to
that
have that
happened on.
conversation with
You
you.
know that actually happened on my birth. I know well about it because it happened on my birthday 50 years ago. So that's how I know about it
Somehow that
well.
makes sense to me. But
That's
listen. But have you
interesting.
invested time
Number
looking
7
into
is
the indigenous
legit. If it
cultures
makes
that
sense.
you think were rightly wiped away? Again, I mean,
Listen.
I think a
Oh, okay.
foundational belief of
Hey,
yours
Spirit.
is
Jaw,
that this model is
jaw,
better. Yeah,
jaw. Let me explain this.
please.
When you asked me, have I researched and studied indigenous culture, I said no. I paid. There's no reason for me to study it. I pay more. I studied more European culture, more
And
European,
that's a shame.
Eastern European culture, and the history of Eastern Europe.
And
So
so you're
that's where
saying,
most.
and so you're saying, evidenced by the Native Americans or the indigenous peoples not being here, they must have been inferior, right? Well, let me just take that reasoning, right? Roll it up into a ball and say that, okay, what if an evil rapist and a murderer broke into your house and killed your entire family? Could I say that this man shouldn't have existed? That he didn't even matter? Because somebody that maybe was just more inclined to rape and murder and kill, right?
Well, let's
Again,
look at the Palace of Versailles and the Castle Windsor versus a
Hey,
teepee
Marcy.
and a mud shack, and then you tell me who's inferior.
Again, dude, yeah, the Palace of Versailles is beautiful, but it depends on what you value, right? Again, everyone in Africa was taking regular baths at that time. Again, like they were literally bathing themselves. Okay, we're talking just
The
the core
Parisians,
tenets,
the
of
bourgeoisie Parisians
hygiene.
wore
So
makeup.
again, it just depends on what you value. Maybe, yeah. Again, I think, but that's I can agree that maybe that's subjective. White people don't have problems.
You can give them that
Yeah.
one.
The upper bourgeoisie, the upper bourgeoisie Parisians literally adorn themselves in powdered makeup and wigs and loincloth clothing and dined in upper scale decadence while
Hey,
they were
Savvy.
living in teepees and mud shacks, sir.
And they
Okay,
have
but
fleas
again,
too.
yeah, again, we're talking about a group of people living in harmony with nature and with each other. Again, maybe you don't understand why them living differently than you did not, immediately qualify them for destruction. And again, that's a lot to ask, but I'm curious, like, but you do understand that the things that you're saying right now, that they did not deserve to have the diamonds or the resources of the land that they were on, or in fact I think the God-given right to survive. Do you completely make that separation of?
Well, I won't say that, but I will say that I feel like they did, like, I'll give you an example. I feel like it was great that, and it's going to sound biased, it's going to sound very biased, but it is my opinion. I feel like that the Native Americans, when they, not Native Americans exactly, but when, I don't know which race it was, but when, I want to say Native Americans. When it was Native Americans that were, they were conquerors
Wow,
and they
he didn't
were,
want to say Celtic.
later,
Piece of shit.
whatever, you call it a blowjob, I call it being an annoying prick. Number 3. Anyway, like I said, when the Native Americans were conquered,
Yeah.
when they were conquered, I feel like it was good that they were
Round
retaught
one.
to worship Christianity rather than Mother Earth.
Okay.
Because
why do
Retard.
you
is
think
it
that?
biased? Is it biased? Yes. But I just
Yeah,
told
I'm
you it's
asking
my
your
opinion.
opinion. I'm just
What's
asking
up,
your
Black
opinion. That's all.
Unicorn?
Yeah, why?
I think
So again, I mean, let's breeze
it's
past the idea that you think it's okay that the genocide occurred, killing men, women, and children in the millions. And again,
well, I mean, if there was
morally not
another
right.
way of doing it, sure. If they
There's
would
only
have
one
just
way to
gave
kill
us the
people, buddy.
land,
That's killing people. Yeah. Yeah. No, I get what
sorry,
you're saying. I get what you're saying.
if they could have gave us the land nice and easy, just give it up and we'll go about our way, great. But they wanted to fight to the death. They wanted to go little bighorn style and all that.
Yeah,
Hey,
you mean like
sorry.
they died defending their home. Much like, I mean, if you can remember George Washington crossing the Delaware, there's a wonderful painting of it. I'm sure that you've seen. But again, the idea that I think your types really find it a honorable thing, right, to die defending your home. Although an American hasn't done that in a really long time. We usually just kill people in their countries.
Well,
Do you think they like the
it'll get to
Clinton
that.
picture with him in a dress? Maybe they'll cherish that like 20 years from now.
Oh wow, not the Epstein
So
picture.
again, do you? I think I'm just trying to like drive the point home that I think you're being morally flexible, right? If you're a Christian, I don't think that you're adhering to the golden rule, meaning that you should do unto others. I don't need to understand why you don't season your food or why you are an abominable monster, but I don't think that you should die, and I don't think your family should die, right? It's not my decision to make because, right? If I mean, you said that you were happy they learned Christianity.
you have
Is there anything in Christianity that makes you think that like genocidal behavior is okay?
Yeah, because you're not using your life correctly. That's
Because they should have learned, because they didn't have the power of Jesus to protect us. They relied on spiritual ancestors and Mother Earth. That's
I'm
what
sorry,
they relied on.
Bradley.